Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Play Demon Souls. This should be a pretty interesting LP. This is an infamously hard game. I have actually played it through a few times myself, so I'm relatively familiar with a lot of stuff in it. What can I say? Just to start out, I'd like to give a big thanks to YouTube user I Have One Arm for donating this game to me. I actually bought the game myself at first, but after my New Game Plus file, it just got so frustrating that I wasn't going anywhere, and instead of just starting a new character, I got rid of the game because it just got so frustrating. But he donated the game to me since he didn't want to play it anymore, and I've started playing it again, and I've been really enjoying it, so big thanks to I Have One Arm again. So yeah, we'll be doing a complete new game. Should be pretty crazy. I don't know, hopefully I won't fail too bad, but anyways, let's just watch the intro and then we'll get into this thing. So, to be fair, that intro is actually a lot louder than the rest of the game. It was a little bit loud, but anyways, it's a nice little introduction to Demon Souls. It definitely sets the mood for the game, though. Very dark, very, you're gonna be outnumbered, you're going to be in some pretty dire stuff. Anyways, I'm going to go on ahead through the character creator. You know, there's a lot of customization to do. I'm going to make this character look as weird as possible, so I'm going to cut this out, but we're going to start out as a wanderer. That should be interesting, because that's the hardest starting class you can pick, I'm pretty sure. Anyways, I'll see you on the other side of this crazy character creator. Alright. After much strenuous work, we've come up with the horror. This will be our character for the remainder of the LP. Dear God, what have I created? This should be interesting. At least we'll have something to look at while we go and hunt down the demons.
King Alant XII, by channeling the power of souls, brought unprecedented prosperity to his northern kingdom of Boletaria. That is, until the colorless deep fog swept across the land. Boletaria was cut off from the outside world, and those who dared penetrate the deep fog never returned. But Valarvax of the royal twin fangs broke free from the fog and told the world of Boletaria's plight. That the old King Alant had aroused the Old One, the great beast below the Nexus, from its eternal slumber, and that a colorless fog had swept in, unleashing terrible demons. The demons hunt down men and claim their souls. Those who lose their souls also lose their minds. The mad attack the sane, and chaos reigns. Valarvax spoke of the enticing power of the demon souls. Each time a demon claims a human soul, the demon's own soul is invigorated by the life force, and the power of a mature demon's soul is beyond human imagination. The legend spread quickly. Mighty warriors were drawn to the accursed land, but none have returned. Bjor of the Twin Fangs, Yurt the Silent Chief, Sage Urbane, Skurver the Wanderer, the Sixth Saint Astraea and her knight Garl Vinland, and Sage Frake the Visionary. The colorless deep fog slowly creeps beyond Boletaria's borders. Humankind faces a slow and steady extinction. The deep fog will eventually swallow all lands near and far. But Boletaria has one final hope. A lone warrior who has braved the baneful fog. Has the land found its savior? Or have the demons found a new slave?
Alright, this is just, this appears if you've played through the tutorial before. I'm gonna play through it just because it's cool. It's worth playing through just for the sake of checking it out.
Brave soul who fears not death, I shall guide you. So that you may lull the Old One back to slumber.
Alright, so, from that intro you can gather a few things. Just, it introduces a few of the names of some characters that we'll be encountering during our quest. It talks about the colorless fog, which kind of separates the lands that have been overtaken by demons from the rest of the world. And at this point in the game, in the lore of the game, I believe that like a good portion of the game's world has become enshrouded by this colorless fog, so kind of an apocalyptic scenario, more or less. Anyways, here's a dude right over here. Since we're playing online, we can actually see other people playing through the game. When you see those white wisps of people running around, they're actually other people playing through the game at the same time as you. There are some of them that are scripted, and there are also these messages on the floor, especially for this tutorial, that are scripted. These ones basically tell you some of the basic controls. So I'll let them explain, you know, some of the basic things, and I'll, I guess, chime in every once in a while just to explain stuff. Like the backstab. The backstab is very useful. It does a lot more damage than just a normal swing, and if you can catch an opponent off guard and use a backstab, it is definitely the preferred method of killing them. So right here we have hold circle to sprint. You can also use circle to dodge roll, or to do a backdash, I guess you'd call it. L1 to guard, as you saw. You definitely want to keep your guard up whenever you're fighting something. Also, they're probably going to mention this soon, but if you hold down R3, or if you, not hold down, but if you press R3, which is taking the right stick and pressing down on it, you actually lock onto enemies. I believe it says that right here, so yeah. And then you can use the right stick itself, move it around, you can change targets like so. So yeah, you can tell who you're locked onto based upon that white ring that appears around them. So yeah, also, whenever we kill an enemy, you may notice that blue material that kind of like comes out of them and goes over to us, and it increases our soul count on the bottom right there. Okay, that guy's head's tilting back and forth. So is his friends. Night at the Roxbury Dreglings. Those guys are called Dreglings. They are pretty much the cannon fodder enemies of this game. I almost didn't notice that one. Aha! But anyways, the soul count increases whenever you kill enemies. Dreglings are very early enemies, so they don't give you a lot of souls, but basically souls function as currency and also as experience. Experience that doesn't stay with you, but experience that you can pull together and then use a certain cost in order to level up your stats. Anyways, this guy had an item on him. Whenever you see that yellow glow above a corpse, that means that there's a drop, you know, that you can pick up and get items from. And then with the square button, you can use items like we have Crescent Moongrass. I'm not going to use it right now because we have full health and we don't really need it, but keep that in mind. To use items like Ed's Grindstone, which can repair your items after they're damaged, or Crescent Moongrass, which is the earliest tier of grass. There are like different tiers of grasses that will heal you more or less depending on which one it is. Like Crescent Moongrass is obviously the weakest, and then Full Moon Grass would be one of the stronger ones. So yeah, backstep and roll, as I mentioned. Rolling is invaluable to you. You'll definitely want to make as much use out of rolling as you possibly can. Oh. There we go. Getting a little bit clumsy. You don't want to do that in this game. That is where you will definitely start to die a lot if you aren't careful with the way you attack. But as you saw there, after these guys do that lunging attack, they actually sort of go on this frenzy and just attack you with a flurry of mad swiping, oh god, mad swiping attacks like this. It's a good time to backstab them, or to parry them if you can. If you press L2, you can actually parry enemy attacks, but you have to be very careful with that. I can't quite do it. It's really not something that you'll see often, just because of how risky it is. But that's what a parry and riposte looks like. If you do a parry, they get knocked back, and then if you press R1 to attack them afterwards, it goes into that animation where you stab them. Just amazing sound effect. You feel really good whenever you get to do that. So, definitely a fun thing to do. Anyways, moving along. This is an archstone, and basically it transports you to different worlds. In this case, it just transports us to a different section of the tutorial level, but this is more of a rare occurrence than anything else. Anyways, I hope I've been explaining stuff well enough. You have some menu stuff. I don't want to take the time to explain all this right now, but as we come to it, I'll try and do my best to explain stuff. So, that mention right there, if you use R2, you do a stronger, albeit slower attack. It's good if you want to do a lot of damage and your opponent leaves themselves open, but you don't want to use it against an attacker who is very quick on their feet. You only want to use it against like slower enemies or enemies who are taking a while to recover. That's the best time to use it. But anyways, that was just explaining the parry and riposte that I explained earlier. There you go. The opening area is a very good time to practice that just because of how easy it is to get some of the earlier enemies and for how little damage they do. Later on, we really can't do this because we can't really manage to make too many mistakes. Oops, didn't work. Alright, so these guys are the Blue-Eyed Knights. We've been fighting Dreglings and just normal soldiers so far, like this guy was a soldier. He's He's the enemy one-up from a Dragling. And then Blue-Eyed Knights are sort of the stronger variety of sword and shield enemies. Alright, there we got a riposte off of him, which is pretty nice. The only enemies stronger in this respect than the Blue-Eyed Knights are the Red-Eyed Knights, and you do not want to mess with them at this point in the game. We will be seeing one on the first level, the first real level. This is just the tutorial level right now, but yeah. Anyways, what that explained back there is that if we press triangle, we actually wield our sword with 2 hands, and what this does is it increases damage, but it also doesn't function very well as a defense tool. You'll still take a decent portion of damage if you block like this, because shields usually absorb like a good 80-90% of damage given to you as long as you successfully block. Swords are maybe 40%, so you're still taking the brunt of the attack if you're blocking like this. So really the best way to use a two-handed strategy is if you're very confident about not getting hit or very good with your dodge rolls. Oh. I didn't dodge roll all the way fast enough. But yeah, we're just gonna try fighting this guy with this, and then I'm gonna switch back just because I am not a dual-wielding son of a gun. I'm very... I lack in skill at doing this kind of stuff. It definitely relies a lot on your enemy putting their guard down, you kind of attacking before they start to attack. Just at the right time so that, you know, they have their guard down when you attack, but they don't attack you first. This game is very much about, you know, waiting for the right moment to get in so that your opponent's defense is down, but that they're not attacking you. Anyways, what this explains right here is changing weapons and changing items. You saw down here, if I press down on the directional pad, I can switch between grass types and that grindstone, which is used, of course, to repair items. Oh god, I hear footsteps. Getting nervous. But all of that is seen right here on the equipment screen. As you can see, we have all of our stuff up here. I'm going to put away the grindstone because I don't really use those. But you can see Crescent Moongrass, Half Moongrass, and then we have 3 other slots. So right now, we can only get those 2 since I only have 2 slots open. Then we have the shield slot, or the left-handed slots, where you can put 1 shield and then maybe 1 magical item like a catalyst, which is more or less a wand. And then you have the falchion and the dagger, which are right-handed weapons, or primarily they should be used as such. You can also put the dagger in the left-handed slot, and we can dual-wield. And you can do this with pretty much any item. Fun thing to do is to actually dual-wield shields, especially the larger shields, and you're just kind of running around with these giant arm shields. It's pretty crazy stuff, but yeah. You can string together some combos with all the different items that you can get, all that stuff. Anyways, I'm not going to dwell on that stuff, but you can even go barehanded. I have a barehanded character who looks kind of similar to this one, maybe a little bit less silly, but still pretty damn silly. Like, his nose is gigantic. He also has a lighter tinted blue skin. I'll show him off and my main character off later on in this LP, but for now we're just gonna start out with our friend the Horror here. We called him the Horror because he is truly a horror to behold. Look at his lips. Those are giant lips. I don't even know why I did this. I thought it would be silly. It's probably going to end up being horrifying by the end of this, but anyways. So I'm gonna stop the video soon, probably right before the boss, if that works. That's the backstab when you use your fists to do so. It looks pretty funny. And also, if you parry with your fists, you actually get this sort of Kali Ma scene from Indiana Jones and Temple of Doom. Like, you just reach inside their chest and you pull out their heart, more or less. And right here, I don't know if an item's usually supposed to appear there. I guess it doesn't. Or maybe a soldier appears there or something. I don't know. But that shows you a little bit of the platforming of this game. You definitely want to dodge roll over this, because if you just try and run, you'll drop. Or no, you won't, I guess. Usually, running and dodge rolling have the same effect, but sometimes, like if you're on level ground, it's preferred to dodge roll just because it's more reliable. I tried doing that on previous run, and I kept falling through. But anyways, let's pick that up. There we go. Didn't quite work out like I thought it would. I think I have to de-equip my shield as well. But yeah, you can actually do just a fist run, and there are some gauntlets that you can get later on in the game that'll help you out immensely, but really the best, most reliable thing to do is just go with the classic sword and shield. So we'll be doing that for the majority of the LP. Anyways, we're coming up to the boss fight now. This is the boss fight of the tutorial. And technically, if you're a new player, you are not supposed to beat this boss. If you do, though, you get a nice reward. I was able to beat this guy the last time I played through the game, through the tutorial, but no promises this time. I'm hoping we can do it, because it would be very fancy if I was able to, but yeah, don't be disappointed if I die in the process. Alright, I'll see you all next time. Hope you're enjoying the LP so far, and goodbye.